Hey, what's going on, my parafriends? This is Mike Del Coro. I go by Florida Paranormal Researcher on my social media accounts. And before we start this video, I want you to do me a huge favor. Can you subscribe, like, and if you are interested in the content that I'm putting out and you click the notification bell, you'll be alerted when I put out new stuff. And I really appreciate it. It helps boost my content so more people can find it. And that would be fantastical. Thank you. Today, I want to talk about Robert the doll. There's a lot of, I would say, rumors and legends on this doll. He's a Key West legend. He's located down in Key West in a museum. It was actually a Civil War fort turned museum. It's the East Mordella Museum, and it's right when you pull into Key West. It's an old Civil War fort. It's actually a pretty spooky building, and now he sits there in a glass case for everybody to see. So you can go visit him. I was actually going down to Key West. I've always heard of Robert. I wanted to check him out. And I couldn't really find much of the history. There's a little bit of stories out there and this and that. Some of them are theories, some of them are legends. But basically what it boils down to is he's 3 foot tall. He's packed full of wood chips. And he was made during the turn of the century. He's a handmade one-off. So there's nothing other out there like him. He's definitely creepy looking. He's wearing like an old sailor suit, and he's got like a little lion. He's perched up, and he's just worn. You know, he's old, so he's definitely creepy looking. And the stories, some's truth, some we don't know. But basically, like I said, the story is there was a young boy that received this doll as a gift. And there's a story out there that goes that it was actually given to the family for him from one of the family's plantation workers that they treated like shit. So she put a voodoo curse on this doll and gave it to the boy as a kind gesture, but it actually being cursed to get back at them. This is true, we don't know. So Robert, as a young boy, gets this doll, and he's like obsessed with it. He's bringing it everywhere. He's talking to it. You know, he won't do anything without this doll. Super attached, clingy. Might be some kind of had a mental thing going on or whatever, but he was like beyond a kid with a doll and a toy. Like, he was just like super obsessed with this thing. And then they started getting reports from the neighbors that they saw it move. Like, there was nobody in the house. They would go out. Neighbors, back then everybody knows each other. They pay attention. They know their schedule. There's not much going on, so everybody knows everything. And They said, like, they were making reports like, hey, I saw somebody in your house, I saw something move. They go up there, it's only Robert in that room. So super kind of creepy there. And then what happens is he's talking to the boy, and the family would like listen, and talking to the doll, and like they would listen. And they started hearing like voices, like it was responding, like they were having a conversation. And that started weirding them out. They would hear Robert make noises when he was in the room by himself. They would find him in different locations. All kinds of weird happenings were reported, And then what happened is, there's another story that the aunt, like, was so creeped out by this thing, she told the family, like, let me just take it, put it in my attic, just get rid of it for now. And then shortly after, Robert was in her attic. She died of some kind of natural causes, heart attack or seizure or something. I can't remember the exact story. And like I said, we don't know if these are all true or there's any validation to this, but these are the legends. So Robert gets a little older. He moves off, married, gets moves on with his life, forgets about Robert, and then eventually starts and comes back to Key West, and he acquires his old home. Family moved on, things like that. So now him and his new wife are living in this home. They're going through the attic, and guess who they find? This creepy son of a bitch. So he's like, oh, awesome, my old doll, Robert. So he named him after himself. Like his name was Robert Eugene Otto, but he went by his middle name. He went by Eugene Otto. So he named the doll Robert. So he finds Robert. He's stoked. He slowly starts becoming super, super attached to Robert as he was when he was a small, young boy as an adult, which is super weird. And now his new wife is starting to get a little creeped out. Like he's taking him to dinner. He's sitting him down at the table. He's talking to it. Like it's like super red flag. Like stranger danger, dude. Like bail. Like this guy's nuts, right? So he's talking to the thing. He gets like super tied up in it again, like the whole 9 yards. And then sure enough, there's more reports now. Totally, different neighbors, different people are reporting seeing the doll move when there's nobody in the house. And then, later down the road, time goes by, he passes, and the doll ends up getting, has this reputation and everything. So I don't know where it went from there, but it ended up going to this museum that's in Key West, and now it's encased and you can visit it. So ever since Robert was, now at this museum, there are now more reports that there's also legends. Like there's reports that the historians that work at this museum get spooked at night. Like they hear stuff coming from that area. Like they've heard footsteps ever since Robert moved in. So they've actually seen go there in the morning and he's moved in his case. Like just so many crazy things. And there's also the legend is if you don't ask Robert to take a picture of him, like the tourists that go there, you have to ask him to take a picture or he will curse you, and then your whole life is just fucked. So I have to go there. I have to go see this thing. Right? So I got a vacation planned, and I'm making it I'm going to this place. And I want to go when there's nobody there. I want to go on a weekday, when it's super quiet, and I want to bring my recorder and a K2 meter, and I want to check it out. And I'm going to show you a few pictures, and we'll kind of go from there. Alright, so I'm going to place this recorder here and see if we can get a response from Robert. Robert, do you mind if I take your photo? You can speak right into this device here, and we can play it back and we can hear you. Let's see if we captured anything here.
Robert, do you mind if I take your photo? You can speak right into this device here. And we can play it back and we can hear you.
Okay, so I didn't really get to spend the amount of time that I wanted to there. I only had a short window while there was no guests in the area or even in the building. Right after that clip, you hear the plane fly over, and then some guests started walking that way. So we got cut a little short, but from what I'm thinking I hear from playing back the EVPs in my headphones and playing with the audio is right in the beginning, you can almost hear, "Help me." And then when I ask about taking the picture, and like I said, I listed these enhanced, you can hear, "Go ahead." And then again, towards the end, you can hear, "Help me," like faster. Like in the beginning, it says, "Help me," and then you hear, "Help me." That's kind of what I hear. Like I said, listen to it enhanced with headphones. I'm going to put those clips back up and play them a couple times, and you can tell me what you hear. But after that, it's going to wrap it up, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.